Hello, this is your host Ethan, and you're listening to 3 Ps and a Podcast. This is an interview conversation style show where every episode will consist of a guest. Each episode aims to uncover who they are, focusing on their ambitions, goals, and their future. I like to call it students versus the real world. So overall, take this as a convenient way to learn more about your fellow peers here at uni. Before we begin, I just want to give a quick shout out to those who could make this possible. The intro you hear at the beginning of our shows, that's done because of my good friend Avery, who's currently attending Berklee College of Music and Arts. And then the logo that you guys see, that was also done by my good friend Miranda, a graphic designer. If you want to take a look at her other spectacular creations, her Instagram is @miranda.madeit. I think that should do it for now. So without further ado, let's introduce our next guest of the show. Yeah, that's right, plural. Cam and Hannah.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hi.
All right, I guess we'll introduce each of you. Who wants to go first?
Hi, my name's Hannah Rodriguez. I'm currently a junior at the University of New England with Ethan and Cam. I've known both of them since getting here. Well, Cam a little before, but anything that you want to know specifically?
I'll get to that. Cam?
My name's Cam Normand. I'm a business administration major and a minor in finance, and I am a junior.
Perfect. Hannah, did you already say those stuff?
I didn't say my major.
Oh, you want to say your major?
Yeah, my major is medical biology on the pre-med track.
Perfect. I guess I'll start off with a quick icebreaker. If we were to go looking for you, where would we find you the most and why? Hannah?
Oh, do you mean if I could go to anywhere in the world?
No, more in we're talking about UNE stuff, anywhere on UNE. Where are you the most?
Most is probably either in class or in my room. So let's be honest.
Fair enough. Cam?
You can find me on the couch in West Room 208.
All right. Okay. All right. Now he's doxing us. So I guess as you guys hear, we have Cam and Hannah. Cam is one of my roommates, and then Hannah is the partner of Cam. I guess how long have you guys? Well, yeah, I mentioned couple. How long have you guys been dating?
We've been dating almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years in June.
6/9.
Oh my gosh. I did not intentionally say yes to being his girlfriend on that date. I did not realize.
She knew. She
I
thought it was funny.
Well, congratulations, you two. You know what course evaluations are.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put a spin on it. For those who don't know, course evals are essentially a survey that you're given at the end of the semester to pretty much rate the class, the professor, the materials. I would like you guys to think of class recently. Could have been last month, I don't care. Last week, yesterday, that had a big impact on you, whether it was just because it was embarrassing, you did something stupid, maybe it was amazing, excellent, terrible, just
one class
one
day
class.
or one class?
Just one class, genetics, anatomy.
Oh, okay. So
business,
over the whole semester, not
exactly,
just one day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I only have you guys on here once, so this is your time to share if I don't know anything that happened, and just
do you want me to go first?
Elaborate.
Yeah, you can go first.
Well, last year was when I took my first finance class. Last semester, actually. I took financial concepts and skills with my professor Mustafa. I had him freshman year for an Excel class, and I hated it. He's foreign, so he's from a different country, so it's a little hard to understand him sometimes because he has a thick accent. But he's a really smart guy. He knows all of his stuff. But after I took him freshman year, I wasn't sure I wanted to take another class with him because I really struggled in that class. But then I took the finance class because I needed to for my major, and he was the professor, and he went over these skills, and I understood it. I understood everything he was talking about. It made sense in my head. I was doing these formulas. I got 90s and above. Only 4 people in the class got an A, and I was one of them. And I was like, holy moly, thank you. I'm bowing. But I that was the most I've ever worked hard in a class. Hannah knows I was in the study room for hours doing his homework assignments, trying to figure out compound interest, simple interest,
Yeah, I
stuff
was
like
really
that.
surprised. For once, I couldn't make fun of him for just having coloring books as homework.
Yeah, that was definitely one of my hardest classes, but it was the most satisfying class because I figured it out, I learned the stuff, and now I'm really good at it. It's one of the most satisfying classes to finish because I was so proud of myself.
Well, thank you for sharing, Cam.
Thank you.
Hannah.
So his is definitely more like eye-opening, but I would say one of my favorite classes was Physics 2, which I took over in Morocco for the study abroad. Because for Physics 1, I struggled a lot, but to be honest, I think the professors were also struggling at that time. They had just lost the head of their department, so nobody really knew like what to go off of, I think. So then all of us were just really confused on what was happening. And if the professor hadn't curbed the grades, I think I probably wouldn't have done as well as I did. And for some reason, I just didn't understand as easily when the teacher taught here at the UNE campus in Biddeford. But when we went over to Morocco, like I absolutely loved the professor. You could tell he was passionate about what he taught. When he explained things, it felt like he was actually talking to you so that you could understand it. It could have just been that my section was only like 7 people and the other one was an actual full class. But if you asked him questions, he didn't make you feel dumb. But he was a great professor. He actually made me feel excited to go to physics, which was like a 3-hour class. So then I didn't feel as dreaded for a 3-hour class. And I was like, oh, there are professors out there that, like you said, when Mustafa was teaching that one class, you didn't understand like really what was going on.
Yeah.
But then when he was doing the finance class, you were just like, oh my gosh.
Clicked. Everything
This
clicked.
makes sense.
Exactly.
Yeah, it just clicked.
It's the best feeling ever because then you're not lost in the class at all. You're just, you know what's going on. You can easily follow the professor.
Yes, exactly. That's how I felt in physics too.
That's great.
So I guess right now, I'll quickly go into where are you guys looking to go? Like, what is your final goal currently, and why are you in college? That's pretty much what I want to ask. I'll start with Hannah.
Yeah, so I came to college because I want to be able to go to medical school. I originally started becoming interested in medicine when I was younger because my mom is an ER nurse, and I always got a little bit of a glimpse into what the medical field was like. And then I worked as a scribe in the ER, and I absolutely loved the environment. So I decided that I wanted to do that and help people, but also get to know people on like a more personal level. And I decided to come here to UNE because it was closer to home, and it also has it has a medical school like technically connected to it. So I thought that'd be a great opportunity.
Perfect. That was actually my next question, is why you chose UNE over any other school. So thank you for answering that. Cam?
Yeah, so, well, I chose UNE because when I first came here, I knew I wanted to come to Maine because my mom went to college in Maine. She went to St. Joe's College, and she loved it up there. So I was like, yeah, Maine's great. It's close to New Hampshire, where I'm from. I wanted to be on the seacoast, so I found UNE, toured it. I loved the campus, and I didn't have any other second option really for school. I guess out of high school, I really wanted to study business because you can do so much with a business major, and I didn't really know for sure what I wanted to do with it yet. But when I got to school, I took a finance class, and it really stuck with me. I really was really interested in it, and now I'm trying to hopefully follow that path down finance, investments, or banking. And the final goal will probably be to work at Fidelity.
Fidelity. That's actually funny because my brother worked at Fidelity.
Wow.
I don't know much about it, though.
My cousin works at Fidelity.
Okay, so everybody and their moms
my
work at
uncle,
Fidelity.
Is that
Okay,
like a
yeah.
bank or an insurance company?
It's
Like,
a investments company.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
I don't know why my brother quit, but
Oh.
but I'm sure there's interest. Like he was very he was very indecisive about where he wanted to go.
Yeah.
I guess I'll dive into about Cam real quick. As most people know, UNE's mostly of a marine science med bio type school.
Yeah, like pre-health.
How do you feel being like? Can I even say it, the minority of the school, being the
You're a
business major
business
of the
major.
school? Do you feel like it's affected you in any way?
Not really. Yes, we get a lot of slander for our coursework being crayons and coloring books, but I enjoy the coursework sometimes. It applies to the real world, whereas like a science course is mostly just studying and memorizing, whereas business is more problem solving and like common sense sorta, which is what I lean towards more. And I found out that this school had a smaller business program, and I didn't want any big classes because you can't really get to know people. You can't get to know the professor at all. You're just a number. You're not like a person there. But since I've been here, they have added accounting as a major, finance as a major, and marketing as a major. And I think as soon as after we graduate, they're gonna build a new business building, which
that's
unfortunately
right.
I won't be able to
That's
stay
so
in. But
unfortunate.
and then next year they're adding a minor for trading, which I wish I could have because that is probably where I want to go.
Interesting.
But
Okay.
yeah, the business program is growing. It's definitely getting a lot bigger. So we're leaning not less from med and marine biology, but we're going more business, so it's more even.
I can't remember. Do you have a minor?
Yes, my minor is in finance. I was going to switch my major to finance, but it was too late, so I just picked up a minor.
That's fair.
Valid enough.
Yeah.
At the point of us recording, you guys just recently went to the Career Mixer, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It
Well,
was
I'm
yesterday.
gonna ask you. Well, I guess how it went for you guys, Hannah.
So there was a lot more people than I think anybody really thought was going to be there. It was insanely crowded. If you go to UNE, you kind of know like where this area is. It's like right under the stairs that bring you up to the second floor, like right in front of the help desk on the first floor of the Commons, which is a very small area. And I think they usually have you wait there when you're doing like just plain old tours of the school. But they somehow fit a lot of us in there and into like the other side of the stairwell. But it was actually like I think the school was very surprised by the turnout, so they were very excited about that us students were so willing and wanting to go to a career mixer, especially because most of us that went, I think, are juniors or seniors. We're trying to look for those connections that we need once we graduate so that we can actually like get jobs or internships.
Cam.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome. Great place to practice your networking skills, which is one of the biggest ways you can get a job nowadays. You got there. It was completely packed, shoulder to shoulder. It was like a club, but
Yeah.
professional,
Right.
So it was pretty interesting. So I met with like at least 15 different people, all from different aspects of the workforce. Got some really needed information, added some people on LinkedIn, submitted an application for an internship over the summer. It was just a great way to network and build connections.
Yeah, and the employers that went there all had different color lanyards. So they had like a really dark navy blue for business and entrepreneurship, a royal blue for like health professions or pre-health professions, green for environmental, and then I think yellow was education. And then all the students had gray lanyards, so we could see like what professions people worked in, who we wanted to approach about our questions or possible connecting. But I honestly talked to people from all the different professions just because I was trying to personally work on my like networking skills because I didn't really get much of a chance to do that before. And it was really interesting getting to talk to everybody about what they do, why they do it, and why they're here. And then they're like, oh, like you do this. Why are you talking to me kind of thing? But they were just so interested to hear like everybody's different viewpoints.
Yeah,
Oh.
super organized.
Oh.
Really good job.
If
setting up that
UNE
event.
is listening, it sounds like it was a bang. So
It was.
they
There's
should
a
have
lot
it
of-
again.
lot of students
right?
there.
They should definitely upgrade to a bigger room,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Well, perfect. I'm glad that it worked out well for you guys. With that being said, I'll lean into one of the questions I want to ask you guys is, what's one goal you're actively working towards right now? I know it's a little different for Hannah because, as Hannah mentioned, she is a pre-med. So right now is the year where she's needs to start thinking about where she wants to go for med school.
Yeah, it's really scary.
So do you want to talk about the process, where you're at right now?
Like the overall process for applying for med school?
I mean, I guess if up to you, or if you just want to talk about yourself and where you're at right now in the process.
Yeah, so for anybody that's listening, currently almost halfway through spring semester, and the next session for applications for medical schools opens up in May of 2026. And I am currently prepping to take my first MCAT on April 11th up in Bangor, Maine. So I am...
That was Cam's doing.
Yes, definitely. So I'm absolutely terrified for that because the MCAT is such a big portion of something that will dictate whether you get into medical school or not, I feel like. Kind of like the SATs, although then once when we were applying to college, you're like, oh, you don't need the SAT scores anymore.
More important, SATs, that's for sure.
I'm hoping that they don't require the MCATs anymore. But yeah, I'm currently prepping for that. And then I need to start working on my personal statement, which is one of the main things that you need for your applications, which I should have honestly started doing drafts in January, but I thought my course load was going to be more chill this semester. It is in fact not. I think it's worse than last semester. I did not plan it that way. But I've been slowly building my CV, which is like a more detailed version of a resume. So it has like all your contact information, your education, what you've done, so like volunteering, work, employment, and then also like your extracurriculars, stuff like that. So that took a while to make. But I also recently just reached out to a few professors asking for letters of recommendation, which for those that don't know, you need 2 letters of recommendation from science professors to apply to medical school. You can have one from a non-science professor, but it's not required. And I think you need somebody from like the advising office that oversees like the pre-health students applying to medical school. And then you need like at least 2 doctors or physicians letter of recommendations. So that's been a process, but don't be scared, just go for it. I was definitely terrified because I asked this one professor and I thought she was going to shoot me down immediately. But
I know who you're talking about.
yeah. But I was so glad that she was willing to take she was willing to talk me through it. And she was like, yeah, like if you answer these questions, then I'll think about it. And once I sent the questions to her, a few days later she responded and she's like, yeah, I think I can write you a good letter of recommendation. So I was so thrilled when I got that emailed, and I think I literally freaked out and jumped out of my seat, like screaming in excitement.
Well, I'm glad to hear. And I guess I'll ask you, do you feel like you're behind right now? I know this is like a common question that you might hear a lot from people, so I want to hear from you.
I do feel like I'm a little behind on my application process just because like studying for the MCAT, it takes a lot longer than I thought, and the content is so like crammed together and so long, especially in like the Kaplan books, which are one of the main sources that you can look through. And I feel like I should have started studying like last summer because I feel like it's just so much information. And then I went to meetings last semester talking about like, oh, you should start like prepping your application and your statements and stuff. And I was like, okay, like I'll be ready, I'll be ahead. And no, I still feel like so behind. And now I feel like I'm gonna have to cram everything for applications. But I feel like everything works out in its own way. Like the applications open in May, but you can't submit till the end of May. And then I think it goes like all summer for like the primary or like early applications. And then like in the fall, that's like the regular application season. So I still got plenty of time to apply if I want.
Well, we wish you luck, Hannah.
Thank you.
Cam, if you remember the question, because
Can you repeat the question?
I don't even know if I remember.
I don't remember.
I'm sorry.
I will always probably.
There's
No,
so
don't
much
be.
to talk
No,
about.
absolutely. That's what we want to hear. Cam, what's one goal you're actively working towards right now?
Well, so for me, it's a little different than Hannah. Hannah's going, like, she's got a straight path that she has to follow. She has to do the MCAT. She has to apply to med school. She has to get into med school, to get to her job. Whereas my job, I don't even know exactly what I want to do yet. So goal 1 is to finish college. Goal 2 is start making money. Goal 3 is find a job that I'm happy with, basically.
And when do you think you're going to get into that position? Like, how long of a process do you think it's going to take for you to figure out where you want to go?
I'm not sure how long it's going to take, but, like, I'd be fine, like, floating around. Like, there's some opportunities where it's a job rotation. So you're at one company, but you can work, like, 3 different jobs over the course of, like, 18 months. So like every 6 months, they move you to a new position, and you get to try new stuff and see what you like. So maybe I'll find a company like that and make my way through and see if there's a job there that I like, and if not, I can find another company. But
Perfect. Well,
Yeah.
I wish you luck as well.
thank you.
I guess with what we were talking about, we got into like about where we're at now, junior year, feeling stress, obviously. What is one advice you would give your freshman yourself? Because, like I said, you guys are juniors. You're at us. It's been a long time since
Yeah.
we've been freshmen. There's a lot that you guys been through. Is there anything you like to share?
Yeah, so for like anybody that's gonna go into college, I would definitely say you need a lot of medicine. You're gonna get so insanely sick the first year. I feel like because the school just doesn't care about cleaning their vents from like mold and stuff. You're gonna get sick, especially because everybody's so crammed in the freshman dorms. So you're all gonna be in such close proximity, and you're just gonna keep rotating the sickness. I think freshman year, roommates and I just, one was sick, one after another.
Cam, do you have anything?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. Either what is one advice you would give your freshman yourself, or is there any advice you would like to give to anyone currently in your situation, or to any freshmen coming up?
So one piece of advice I'd probably give myself is to get out there and meet new people as soon as possible, because college is only is only fun and great because of the people you meet here. And if you're alone the whole time, you're not going to like it. You're not going to enjoy it. You're not going to be happy to go to school, and you feel like you're kind of wasting money because you're spending a lot of money to be here, and you might as well get the most out of it. So instead of just like coming here just to do academics, you should be thinking of college as like the tutorial to being on your own, because this is like the first real time anyone leaves home. They're gone for a long time. You're on your own. You make your own decisions. You do everything yourself. So it's really important that you get out there and meet people, make your college experience worth it.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I would say to people that are just coming into college, you're going to feel sad when you're at college by yourself because you are so used to being by your family all the time. And it's different for everybody. But I know when I got to college, I'll be honest, I did cry a few times because I was so used to being near my family. And I was just like, what do I do now? Like, I don't know anybody here. But you just gotta push through it, make those connections like Cam says, and you'll have a great time. Like, I'm still friends with you, and like your sister was my freshman roommate, and then
This is true.
and then our other roommate, like, we're still all friends like 3 years later. It all just depends on those first like impressions and friends that you make.
Yeah, sometimes you could get a random roommate that you won't like so much, but on the contrary, you could find a roommate randomly and they're your best friend for the semester. Like my friend Connor, I just put me and my buddy James in a room with these 2 guys. I had no idea. I only knew their name, And then when I met him, I found out they were like the coolest guys ever. And now he's my roommate to this day. He's my roommate next year. He's one of my best friends.
Yeah, it's just the luck of the draw. You just gotta go for it and hope for the best.
Yep, just meet people.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. So as I mentioned, we are juniors, and I'm sure we've made a lot of mistakes, a lot of failures we've come across. So what's a failure that taught you something important?
Yeah, so
Okay.
freshman year was rough for me specifically. I was in a different relationship back then, long distance, and it made me feel like I couldn't go out and talk to people because I wouldn't want to upset her, and that like held me back sorta. So I didn't really meet anybody, and then the second semester of freshman year, my 2 roommates left me, so I was by myself in this room with this girl that would like basically prevent me from going out, which I also did to myself. I didn't have to do that, but I chose to do that, and I was miserable. And while I was miserable, I stopped caring about classes, and I think I got a C- in one of my classes, and that was the lowest grade I've ever gotten. I've never gotten anything below a B in a class before. So that was a turning stone. I saw my GPA drop really low, and then my mom told me the news that made me change how I was doing school. She told me, if your GPA drops too low, you lose your merit scholarship, and school becomes significantly more expensive. And that instantly, I was like, I need to lock in. This is terrible. All right. She's like, if you don't get your GPA up, you should probably drop out. And I was like, I would not want to drop out. I know I'm having a miserable time, but I've just started meeting people, just started making new friends, and I cannot leave this early. So I locked in the next semester, got my GPA up, back up, and the following semester went up even higher, and it just keeps going up. I think I was at a 2.8 that freshman year, and then now it's a 3.7.
What your mom said, some may like think it's kind of harsh how she worded it.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about college and funds, do you think what she said is completely fine? Like, that I completely agree.
Yeah, I think so, because my merit scholarship basically cuts the cost of my school like in half, and without it, it's just double the price, and it's not worth living your whole life in debt. So what she told me, I know it was harsh, but it was factual. College is insanely expensive, and I don't want to constantly be paying off student loans my whole life. I already have a lot of student loans because, it's even the merit scholarship helps. It's still like a lot of money. But when she put that into my head, it made me like realize like money is super important. Like, I'm in finance. Money is insanely important. Like, you can't do anything really without money. Like, you need money to do pretty much everything in this world, which kind of sucks, but
Yeah, it really sucks.
that's what makes people do work. That's how things get done.
It is how our world is set up, after all.
Yeah.
Hannah, did you have time to think?
Yeah, I mean, I've had a few struggles since getting to college, just trying to figure out life. One of the most recent struggles that I think I can think of was last semester. Like, all my growing up, I hate to say it, I've been like an A student. I never really had to try that hard at classes. I was like what people would deem naturally gifted at school. So I was always good at it. And then coming here, it was kind of like, oh, like, you don't have as much, like, you don't want to give as much effort, but then you realize, oh, you do have to give more effort than you're used to. And last semester, with some classes like AP and P1 and genetics, I was just struggling to understand the concepts for some reason. And like for genetics, the first 2 exams, I completely bombed them, even though I felt like I studied and I just couldn't understand the concepts. But I went to the teacher, who was the one that I talked about earlier, writing me the letter of recommendation. And I told her, like, honestly, I was really terrified of her, because in class, she just has this, like, authoritative, like, feeling that she gives off, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm so intimidated. Like, she knows everything. I don't know anything. And you thought you were like, if you said something, she was going to be upset if you were wrong. But getting to be with her one-on-one, like, I actually saw she was actually a really caring person, and she was so willing to help me figure out what I did wrong, what I could do to improve. So talking to her allowed me to figure out better study tips, and it put me on a better path. So I was able to do much better in that class than I would have. Like, I probably honestly would have failed that class if I had not gone to her and asked for help.
Oh, I know what class you're talking about, and I know that class was rough. But I wanted to also follow up with you. You mentioned about, it's not an abnormal response that you gave, about how in high school people generally didn't study. Like, it was kind of easy to get through without having to study.
High school was so
I
easy.
miss it
Right.
so much.
So when you come to college, you mentioned that it's hard to get into into study habits and learning how to navigate through to get passing through your classes. So is there any suggestion you want to give to anyone about studying? Is there anything that's really helped you that you really want to reinforce to others?
Yeah, so since I'm pre-health, most of my classes are science-based, so it's just a lot of like throwing facts at you and you have to memorize them, or like the equations if you had to do physics or calculus. But the best way that I've like figured out that works for me is just to do Quizlet. I bought like Quizlet Premium, which kind of sucks that I had to pay like $53 or something for it. Wow. But it's for a whole year. For a whole year. So that's all you have to pay. But making the Quizlets and then just like going through them, like the learning portion, that's why I bought it, because for the free Quizlet, you couldn't use the learning portion. And I needed to keep repeating things. So going over like just the multiple choice, and then it would have you also type the answer sometimes. That really helped me understand some of the like concepts. But also I would write things on the whiteboard. Like, I have my own little whiteboard that I have in my room, but also I'd go to the study room on the floor that I was living in, and I would just write stuff out, and then I would like go over everything and say it out loud as if I was talking to some random person in a chair, just trying to explain the concepts so that I could better understand them.
I completely agree. I do the same thing, actually. I was standing around. I can't study with other people. It sounds really like, I don't know, like introverty, but like I just can't. Like, I have a certain process that I have to remember things, and I feel like if I study with someone, they're gonna give me a different process, and it's gonna mess up everything. So I like to literally stare at a brick wall. You know that meme, that brick wall where the guys literally just talk. Yeah, exactly. You guys can't see it, but Cam did the action of what I was talking about. That's me in the room studying, and I think it's worked.
Yeah,
beautifully.
everyone has their
I
own
totally
study.
understand that.
Everyone has their own way of studying.
Cam, do you have a certain way you study, or do you?
So unlike you guys have to study. I don't have to study. I never studied in high school, and I passed with freaking all A's. High school was so easy. It didn't prepare me for college enough, because you go from less free time in high school and less studying to more free time and more studying in college, which is definitely helpful because you're doing more on your own time. So you have to work on your time management skills. You have to work on your like studying skills. It's a good experience, that's for sure.
Yeah, but you barely have any like homework compared to what I have, and I'm always so jealous because I'll be studying and you're just over there like watching reels on the couch, and I'm like, what the heck?
Calling them out.
Yeah, so I don't know what it is. My professors they don't give out challenging homework except for the financial classes, because that homework is actually a skill that you have to like learn. Whereas other classes, I have a class right now called Human Resource Management, which is all like how to hire, like treating employees, hiring employees, like those processes. And most of that is just common sense, right? So you don't need to study common sense. You already know it, right? But whereas finance, I have to practice the skills. I have to practice the formulas, figuring out the numbers, stuff like that. whereas the other half of my classes are all common sense. Like I'm taking business and society relations, and that's just an ethics class. What's right, what's wrong. That's pretty simple.
You'd
So
be
I don't need-
surprised how many people don't have common sense when you think that they do.
Yes, this is true. Some people struggle. I personally don't. it's
You have common sense.
To each their own, exactly. I want to also follow up with you, Cam. You
Yep.
mentioned about, I guess in a way, just the way that business is taught in schools. We know that, at least for me and Hannah, the medical bio area is more of like it's applicable to the real world. So like we're given scenarios, we're given situations. We have to learn more about like the steps that are happening and whatnot. You described how majority of time for business, it's like
So-
ethics and stuff.
Yeah, so-
learning common sense. So let me get into the question.
yeah, okay.
Do you think the system or like the way that business is taught, should that be changed? Do you think it's effective where it is now?
It's hard to describe because your field, there's not many jobs you can get with the classes that you take, right? There's like a limited, like your doctor, nurse, etc.
right. Or you go as a professor for biology.
That's
Or
gonna
that.
be me. If I
That's
don't
literally
become a
what,
doctor,
like,
I'm
unless
gonna
you
become
don't get
professor.
a master's or a doctorate, you're pretty much just a professor.
Exactly. Whereas business has this huge range. You could literally work in like marketing, management, finance, accounting, stuff like that. So it's a huge range. And when you take a business administration major, it's just all of that squished into one. So it doesn't apply to anything specific in the real world. It's more like an overview of things you're going to see in the real world. So it's not like you're going to be using common sense a lot at like in a business practice, but it's not like crazy in depth because it applies to everything. If you want to like dive into specifics and you take just finance classes, then you're going in the finance path. But if you're taking business administration, you're taking everything all at once. So it's going to be less. It's more basic classes to go over different aspects because you can only take how many classes can you take at college for a bachelor? It's like
Like
five a
semester?
semester.
Yeah, what,
like
17, is it 18 credits at the max? Or
It's
is
like
it,
a minimum of 12 credits. I
right,
thought,
12
for
to be full-time. But then there's
And
like a
it's
point,
18,
is
I
it
think.
18?
And if you want to go over, I think you have to have like special permission.
Yeah, you have
or
to talk to
something.
your advisor.
Yeah, so you're taking like 5 classes a semester for 4 years. So it's eight a year. That's like what, 40 classes. And for business, there's so many aspects. So you're just taking almost one class for each different aspect. So you're not diving into depth. Whereas you guys have like physics 1, physics 2, and then you have like Orgo 1, Orgo 2. You know how you have like a 2 after the class? We don't have that.
Okay, so are you more aiming at that our degree is more cumulative over time?
Yeah, your degree, the classes are more intertwined and like go with each other. My classes are not related to each other.
Okay.
As much,
okay.
you know what I
That's
mean?
Okay, that's a good way to describe
Yeah.
it.
I
I
can see
definitely
that,
see that
yeah.
now.
'Cause
Yeah.
you need to take physics 1 to take physics 2. My class, you don't need to take marketing to take management.
Okay.
You see
And
that?
do you think like the aspects of, do you think, I guess, education should be kept that way, where it's just each class is a completely different segment of what you want to learn versus cumulative processes? Or do you think, I mean, we could have a mix of both? What do you-
It depends. So if it's cumulative if you know what you're studying. So I'm business admin, and that's just an overview of all business. Whereas I wish I could have done just finance, and then all my classes would have been cumulative because it's all just finance focused. It's not just like it's not all marketing stuff like that. You know what I mean? So instead of taking just one aspect of business, I'm taking all of them. So it's not cumulative, which kind of sucks, but it's more broad. So you can work at more different places. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Sorry if I confused you.
No,
a
no,
little
no.
bit. It's hard to
I
explain.
understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Hannah, do you agree with his point? Do you think we should keep it in a way cumulative, or do you want to like apply it where it's like only different aspects? Each class should only treat a certain aspect of your major.
Like for business or overall?
I guess let's go for overall.
Overall, I think it definitely depends on the major. Because I think like the marine science people, they go out in boats and go see like all the marine life, which I think that's really cool, getting to apply what you learn. Whereas for like our medical biology majors, we like in AP&P sometimes we'll get case histories and studies, and it'll be like, oh, like this patient came in with like low blood sugar, like stuff like that, and then you're trying to figure out what the diagnosis is. So that's one of the only ways that I've really get to see like us apply what we learn. But I don't really know if like business majors get to apply what they learn.
So it's like, especially here, because our business program is so small, it's hard to have cumulative classes because there's not many business classes. Whereas if you went to a school of just business, you could take 100 different accounting classes. You know, here there's like maybe 2 or 3, which kind of sucks. But like this school is really good for getting to know your professors, getting to know the stuff in depth on the one class that you have it for.
So Cam, do you think this school is holding you back with classes?
No, I don't think that at all. I enjoy my classes here. I definitely don't. I'm definitely learning a lot through them. Like that's what I came here to study was just like a broad overview of business because I wasn't sure what I wanted to go in. But since my time being here, I found out I like finance a lot, and that's the direction I want to lean towards. So I picked up a minor. So I'm going to be taking, instead of business electives, which are just random business classes, like casino management, something like that, you know what I mean? I'm going to be taking like right now, one of my business electives is investments, which is super interesting because that's what I'm interested in is like the stock market, 401ks, EFTs, stuff like that. So like I get to dive a little more into finance while still learning about the broad overview of business.
Okay. Well, beautiful.
Thank you.
I guess the only thing I have left to ask before we wrap it up, is there anything you guys would like to leave to the listeners? Any tips, any strategies, any big advice you would like to give?
Definitely come with an open mind to college because you don't know what experiences you're going to have, who you're going to meet, who you're going to become friends with, who you're going to stop becoming friends with. Like, there's just so much that can change and you won't even know it. And a lot of people also change their majors because, like Cam said, he came not knowing what he wanted to do. And that's why he chose like business, but then he found that he liked finance. And I think it was a little too late for you to change, you said, but then
Yeah.
you
Plus
picked up
the major's
minor.
like pretty new too.
Mm-hmm.
I think they just added it like last year or something.
Yeah. But yeah, come with an open mind. When I was touring colleges, the last college that I actually toured was UNE. Like, I went down all the way to Rhode Island. Like, UNE was not my top pick by a landslide. Like, I really wanted to go to Brown University. But when I came here, it was, I think, in like the middle of February, so it was freezing. But I just loved the campus, and I wasn't prepared to like a college in Maine. Like, I knew I wanted to be close to home, but I was just really surprised, like, oh, I didn't think I would want to go here. And also, try and study abroad, because that is another thing that drew me here.
Cam, do you want to add anything? Any advice you would like to give?
Definitely when you're here, it's not just about the academics, it's about learning to live on your own. But my biggest piece of advice is to join a club, like any club, anything you're interested in. I've been playing volleyball since middle school, and when I got here, I joined the club volleyball team, and I've been on it ever since. I'm the president, one of the co-presidents now, and I absolutely love volleyball. All my best friends here at school are through volleyball. Like when you're on a club, it's like guaranteed friends. You know, like it's like the friend starter pack. You know what I mean?
This is true.
I met Ethan through volleyball, and now he's my roommate.
Cam and I met the year before freshman year on something that the UNE campus does called a Trailblazer. So they're like different little week-long events where students can go on these trips to get to make other friends and get to know other students. And that's how I first met Cam. And then we didn't really talk until like spring semester freshman year again.
Yep.
It's like a little before spring break, I think. And then when you started playing volleyball, I was like, oh, like I know Cam, like who's on it?
But yeah, Trailblazer we went whitewater rafting for our Trailblazer. So this was before we were even at school. This was the summer before our freshman year. You could sign up for one of those, and you go with a bunch of random students, and you're just with them for a whole week doing these fun activities. And it's a great way to meet people at your school because you're like brand new to that school,
Yeah.
right? So you don't have any friends yet. So it's nice to get to know someone off rip.
Yeah, that was a great experience. I would totally recommend people to do experiences like that.
So pretty much what I'm hearing is students should take every opportunity that they get.
Oh, any opportunity
Absolutely,
to
right.
network, connect, make connections with people, make as many friends as possible. That's what makes college great.
Yeah, one of the mindsets I've low-key been having recently is like, we're young, money will come back, but these experiences won't.
That's well said.
Thank you for listening to 3Ps in a podcast. And of course, thank you for listening to our wonderful guests, Cam and Hannah. And thank you, Cam and Hannah, for attending the show.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you for having us.
I hope you learned a thing or two from both and hopefully found them as someone you can look up to or can relate to. Have a spectacular day, afternoon, night, and next time we'll be back, we'll be with a new guest.